Okay.
Oh, we're messing it up again, guys. We're messing it up. We did so well.
Double check everyone's stream. I think we're all good.
Yep, I'm good.
I think I'm good.
You watching Zoom or OBS? You watch yourself?
Nah, you gotta watch Zoom, man.
Okay. I don't know if we're live streaming or not.
Oh wait. My stream's not live. My stream's unlisted.
All right, guys, we'll get
I'm live.
we'll get better at this. People are saying, "Come on, we need the crypto news." On my side, people are saying they need the crypto news. Come on, guys.
Oh no.
So what?
Alright.
When you guys are
I'll let
seeing
everybody
this
get up.
live, just let me know in the chat app that you can see this, so I know it's working. I'm not very good at this. We're not very good at this.
No, me neither. All right. Something's happening on my end. There's a bar going somewhere. All right, I think we're good. Oh no. All right, let's jump in.
Okay. I think notifications just turned on for mine.
Okay. Let's say I'm gonna hang back for a second because I'm still waiting for mine to come through.
Yeah, I think mine's live, but
I'll check everybody's channels. Eventually, this will be a very seamless issue here.
All right.
Alright, Steven, you're good.
Oh sweet.
Hunter.
I think we just need to move to one channel.
Alright, we're good.
We just need to move to the one channel approach.
Approach. Oh my god, for sure.
I've got like, oh, what's up? What's up?
Well, how's everyone doing today? Green day in the crypto market and in the stock market looks like. That's nice.
It's been a stress this week, but yes, today is a lot nicer on the soul.
Yeah, definitely.
A bedroom in that thing you're looking for, Connor. You know, since you went down in your portfolio. Start looking at places.
I gotta get a studio now.
You just lost some square footage. You're like, I'll start with
Yeah. It was so typical. I was thinking exactly that, right? So I'm like, now that the point of where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna take a little bit out, and I'm gonna buy something, right? I'm like, now is the point the market will crash just because of that, right? So that's why I was like, I'm not selling anything. I'm holding on. Made it back.
You just gotta hold forever. That's what it is. You can you lock in profits the day you die, or not. You know, let someone else handle that.
Yeah. We lost Tyler again.
We really did, poor guy. He'll come back on. Oh, there he is. We were just talking about you.
There we go. Give me 1 second. Got a whole bunch of issues just hitting me at one time.
Everyone here, my live stream, is it working for you guys? Let me know in the chat. I've got I've just got so many things on.
I'm having a little bit of an issue here too. Okay. Just not enough volume from you guys. Let's turn that up a little bit. Okay, should be good now.
Everyone's getting lag on my side. There's a way to do something about that for me.
Are you watching us through OBS or are you watching us through Zoom?
Zoom.
Yeah, it's all right for me, but yeah, Tyler keeps freezing. Sam keeps freezing. I'm sorry, guys. We're not doing very well today. Stephen, you're perfect for me. Loud and clear. Graham, thank you. Volume low. All right, my volume's low apparently. How's that? Is that better?
And your microphone. Man, you got a whole setup.
All right, guys. I think I know what's happening here.
Oh, what's this? Oh, just let me just move this a bit closer to me. Let me just.
This $3,000 mic, this thing. I have this bad boy from Amazon. Holy $dollars. Oh no, probably not even that much. Probably 13 or 35 or something. I don't know.
Nice.
Sound is bad. Lag is ridiculous. The stream is so laggy.
Lag.
And There's so many different
we do?
things you have to do to set this thing up. I forgot one of them, and no one could hear you guys for a while. So now you're good. Now everyone can hear
Okay.
your voices.
God, they should have super chatted you just so we were quiet for a second.
Wait, I'm sorry about this, guys. It's really not working very well. The bottom left guy is loud. Sam, you're loud. You're too loud.
Oh yeah.
Okay. What are some of the things y'all covered on your channel this week? Let's start there if you want to.
I almost,
Elon.
yeah. I almost got kicked off of YouTube this week for live streaming SNL, so that was fun. I got 2 strikes
Yeah,
right
that was-
away, like back to back.
What strikes?
No, sorry, not strikes. How did they phrase it? I went against community guidelines, but they were not strikes. And then other people are talking about coins that I won't mention that start with dog, and they're getting their whole channel taken down, and they're not even saying anything bad. And then I'm over here live streaming SNL, not to bring attention to this channel or anything, and I just get like a slap on the wrist, and they just demonetize my video. It's crazy.
Wait,
No,
I've got 5. I got 2 Tylers.
I've stopped saying DC in there because everyone's getting demonetized. So we do have 2 Tylers. Lucky us.
Oh, we got 2 Tylers in the building.
Okay, I think I'm good.
Apart from the fact that there's 2 of you now.
I don't even
That was
see
good, man.
Tyler. Do you guys see Tyler? Oh, there we go. Okay.
I got twin Tylers, man. Twin Tylers.
I have enough time keeping up with 1 in his content schedule. I can't imagine 2. I'll just quit this whole thing.
Yeah, he's too much, man. What's going on? We got 2
It's-
Tylers.
I think one thing that I know, so the other day when I went live, someone shut my internet off on purpose. And it may have happened again here, but
What,
I
from
think
the outside?
Yeah. It's an issue I always have all the time.
All right, well, I'm just going to have to live with having 2 Tylers in the building because I don't know really what to do.
I don't know why there's 2. It's if we ever have a stream that doesn't have some type of technical difficulty, it's not a good stream. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I see 2 Tylers, 1 doing nothing. Yeah, my boys, the people in my chat are seeing 2 Tylers. They only want 1 Tyler. Anyway, what were you guys? Let's just move on. What were you saying about these words that are being demonetized? Because I don't even know about this. Don't say them, obviously.
So you know the very famous meme coin these days, right? That Elon Musk keeps on talking about.
Yeah.
Well, someone in one of our YouTube groups, he got his channel taken down. I've actually seen another person too that I don't talk to very often who had like 225,000 subscribers, and they send him an
Really?
email saying that they like committed or that their content was like over whatever guidelines they set, and they take down their channel. And then one of them got taken away and hasn't been resolved. And then the one that we talk to pretty often, he got his channel back after like a day, but he had over 100K subscribers too. And it was just a dog video. I was about
But
to
what's their problem? What's the reason?
I'm thinking it's some kind of AI glitch or some kind of glitch with the algo that thinks it's offensive or dangerous or something. But I don't know what it is, because I've never heard that being an issue. And then I went totally against it and just made a video on it yesterday anyways, because I was like, I don't care. If it happens, it happens.
Yeah.
Like
I'm pretty sure I made a video on it yesterday too.
Yeah. Meet Kevin did one yesterday too. Like a bunch of other people did. So I'm rolling the dice.
Kevin doesn't need to be monetized though. He makes about $1 million a day, so he's like, whatever. He's like, take my money.
Literally though, that's literally what he makes.
Yeah, I saw his podcast recently with the coffee podcast, and he said that he doubled his income back in March. So now he hit like 2 million a month this last March, like a month or 2 ago.
2 million a month.
Yeah.
Good for him. Did you see they talked to the DC millionaire, and he's just like holding all of his gains.
Yeah.
The guy with the D word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Years of your salary, and he's like, yeah, but I'm just still gonna hold and still go to work. And I was like, wow,
that was me, I would have sold it. I would have sold it.
Yeah.
I literally watched the whole thing. So like I was watching it whenever we had we talked about it in the last podcast. We literally said, or like this thing is about to crash. Like it's gonna drop at least a little bit after Saturday. And come Saturday, I was looking at it like, you know what? I'm holding this thing for life. And I just watched it fall a little bit every single day. And I was like, oh man, oh well. And so I don't he's bold though. Holding that much is a really, really bold move.
Is he still holding it now?
I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. But,
Yeah. He has a channel now. He has a YouTube
yeah,
channel.
yeah.
Right to Vanguard index funds. I'll peel off 75% of that couple mil, throw it in Vanguard index fund, and then just go wild another 25% again. I'd still be risky as hell, but I would never not want to work again. That would be it. As soon as you make not working money off the table, squirrel it away. Buying gold, putting it under my mattress, making literally the worst moves in the world. Wait, what is it? The book that I read said it. It was the best, worst financial moves, but best money moves.
Yeah.
I was like, that's cool. I really liked how that sounded. I was like, yeah, that would be a terrible like financial move for me to make, just like squirrel it all away. But it'd be a great money move because then I could just have a freedom of my entire world and life, which is what we're going for me.
Yeah, I think someone commented on one of my videos about your philosophy with I think it was 50-50. So you have like 50% is wild and the rest is like super safe. So it kind of evens itself out.
Yeah, that's the theory.
Yeah, I was a little more, I guess, well, after the profit taking. So now I think I took out like 2/3, right, out of the hype coin world and put it into like what I would consider safer. But yeah, I like that thinking.
What do you consider safer? Give me some general things.
Oh, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, ADA, XRP. Safer than hype, right? Definitely not safe.
No safe.
Mine's been like
acting like freaking mutual funds recently in my mind. Like compared to what we're investing now and covering and stuff like that. I was like, man, this other stuff is so safe. You're right. You're exactly right.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about. Like I've been super duper like 50-50 even for me. I'm still like, man, 50-50. Like I get too nervous about it. You know what I mean? Because I'm like I used to be 90-10, but over the last few weeks, like it's kind of gone like the 80-20 or so. But I think as soon as we see like this big like altcoin season die off, I might go back to like 90-10, even 95-5, because I'm concerned. Like I'm just super conservative. You know what I mean with everything. No. And I think like I know some people on my Patreon who do like, yeah, I put 25% into like safe stuff. I just do 75% into some of the hype coins just to see what happens. I'm like,
yeah.
I don't have that much like that much boldness. You know what I mean? I can't do it. I can't do it.
Now, when you guys are talking like 50-50 or 80-20, are you talking about like YOLO plays? Or are you talking about like high growth, like riskier plays versus index funds? Because I know for me, like I have a lot of growth right now because everything's been selling off so much that I've just been buying and buying and buying. Indexes used to be 50% of my portfolio. Now they're like 20 because I've just been buying growth this entire time. And I'm not buying an index when everything is falling and indexes are at all-time highs. But I think my YOLO plays are only like 5% of my portfolio, maybe.
Yeah. What are you buying right now is like the value plays?
I bought a lot this week. So yesterday I bought the most I think I've ever bought. Yesterday and Wednesday, I bought a lot of Tattooed Chef. I bought a lot of Palantir when it in the pre-market when it was like 16 something one day. I bought a lot of that. I bought 2023 Clean Spark call options, which are doing well because Clean Spark's up 10% today. Bought them yesterday.
Nice.
And then I bought an NNDM or 3 NNDM call options, which I made 50% on my first ever call option. And I made 50% on because it was like below the cash value of the company. So I was like, they keep on rubber banding up to $6 when they're in the mid fives. So I bought it and it did well. It was only like a 1 month option. So it was really risky, but
nice.
Yeah. So I'm excited. I've never gotten into calls.
Has anybody been buying any cryptos this week? I've been having major bank issues. Like I had to switch bank accounts, like everything like that, because I kept having crypto transactions get blocked. So I missed out on 3 trades in the last 10 days that my Patreon did, all 300% plus. I missed out on all of them. Man. I've been so frustrated. So did anybody get anything good this week? It's been a slower week though, so I haven't been doing much.
You don't mind going into, if you want to go into them, what were they, or just like you don't have to tell the whole thing, but just.
Yeah. So the biggest 2 we did in the last 10 days, or we can do I'll do the last I've been having issues for like 12 days, 13 days. So GMR, you remember I was talking about GMR and HappyCoin in the last podcast. I was talking about both of those. We went up 317%. We were up 600% on GMR at one point, but then it kind of came back down like 300%. I know a lot of people on the Patreon, we cashed out at like 400% gains, which was still late. So we had that one. HappyCoin is another one that I know a lot of people took an initial investment out of, still riding profits. That one we were up 300 plus at one point. And then Bonfire, we were up a good bit. And then that came spiraling down really hard.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Bonfire looks good from the outside, right? It's got a good team and everything. But the thing is, it's just the same. Or it's the same with SafeMoon at this point, right? It's all speculation. They haven't done it yet, but if they have a good team behind them, there's no reason why they won't do it, right? But at this moment, when things move like 400 or 500%, got to think, why are they moving that much in that short amount of time? So it's like. And
then I know Bonfire had a really, from what I haven't actually got the chance to check it out because I was just so sick yesterday. I slept for like 12 hours, but I think from what I heard, the Bonfire AMA went really south, really fast. I think from what they told me, some of the devs started arguing in the AMA itself. I didn't check it out, so I'm not gonna co-sign it. But from what I heard, it went south and people kind of got.
I want to watch it. I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, so I don't know what happened there, but I hope they recover because Bonfire actually looks pretty cool to me. You know what I mean? I remember when I was looking at them, I was like, oh, that's sick. They have their own little. They're similar to a lot of the other cryptos, but I just look for a little bit of creativity, and that's what'll kind of separate the rest from the pack for me. And they had a little bit of creativity, a little bit of uniqueness. I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. So hopefully they recover. But I hope that AMA wasn't as bad as some of my people kind of made it out to be.
Yeah, I'm gonna give that a watch actually. Now that you've mentioned it. Oh, someone's saying my mic's low still. Let me know how it is now, Curly Bap. Turn it up. Sorry, guys.
Special shout out. No, yeah, I think they switched. They couldn't figure it out. Their God, I'm getting everything kind of confused too. That was the AMA where they couldn't figure it out and they had to switch to Twitch too, and then it went away and they just couldn't figure out their technical issues on that because I was covering it kind of live and recording it, and then I was gonna record the other half after they had finished just to kind of sum it all up. But then they just couldn't get through. It reminded me of us trying to put together a live.
Yeah, we ain't selling no coins with this live stream.
Oh, really? Now, a lot of people are asking. I don't know what you guys talked about whenever my internet got shut off, but a lot of people are asking what we thought about, what happened with Shiba Inu and everything. And some people are on the fence. Some people are on the fence about how they feel about it. I mean, my personal opinion, just because I know a lot of people are asking me about it right now. I think it's just what happens. You know what I mean? So from what I understand, Shiba allegedly sent a very large amount of their total supply to Vitalik's public address, kind of as a joke, I think. And then he decided okay, well, we're going to donate all of this to charity. And I think that it was a bad thing for anyone holding Shiba at the time, of course, because it destroyed a lot of its value and the liquidity pool smacked. But I think it honestly had a lot of positive to it because I think hopefully it'll make some people realize these things aren't jokes. Yeah. It's all fun, it's all memes and it's all games, but then stuff like this can really happen where it just gets destroyed in a second. But I think Shiba can recover. I don't think it's just gone forever, but I think hopefully it raised some people's eyes. You never know what could happen. You know what I mean, with these tokens. That's why we always say so much. All of us constantly say, be careful. These are risky. Be careful. And then something crazy can happen,
Why did they even give him that much? Why did they break off that much and send to him? That's when I was reading their white paper. I could not figure out why they did that.
Well, I think basically the way in which they did it, it almost seemed as if they were sending it to his wallet as if it was, okay, so you know how we have a lot of these coins come out with 1 quadrillion tokens, just so the price is super low so you can buy a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
And then they burn 50% of it off rip. Just just because they want the price to be low so you can buy so many, but they don't want that to actually have that much of a total supply. It seemed as if they were sending it to his addresses in order to do that, to kind of get some of them out there as if they were burning them in a way. But like, they didn't expect him to be able to do anything with, like, they didn't think he would do anything with it. You know what I mean? From what I'm understanding.
Yeah.
And
I think from the outside perspective of it, because I wasn't in on it, I didn't research it, I haven't looked into the coin. You know, it's just another one of those coins. We're going to mention it, but it's just another one of those, right? And so, you know, probably from the outside, especially Vitalik, the guy from Ethereum, right? He just probably wanted to do that. That was probably his goal, right? He probably wants to show, like, you know, as much as we say it every day, he probably wants to show guys, like, this is what happens when someone like me, who has a massive amount of it, I can just move it and that's it, right? The price drops, right? Yeah. Whether or not it comes back, hopefully it does for the people who are still holding. Like, I hope it does come back. Like, I haven't looked into it. I don't know what it does, but I'm sure that was his thought process, right? I'll donate this to charity, and then everyone will understand that just because something's going up, it doesn't make it a good investment.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, we have to consider, like, this is the entire market. I mean, we look at Bitcoin. Like, I think if you consider the entire crypto market, most of us would probably say, like, Bitcoin is considered to be like the safest of the bunch, in a sense that it has the least likely chance, in my opinion, to just go to zero, right? We looked at one tweet really from Elon Musk, sent that thing like just on a downward spiral. So it's not even just like hype coins and meme coins. I mean, it is investing in general. You never know what'll happen. And I don't think we have a big new crowd, right? And I think a lot of our channels have experienced a new wave of people who are trying to get into this space, and they kind of get annoyed, right? I know, Connor, I see comments in your things all the time where people are like, Connor, stop saying it's risky. You're spreading FUD. Like, no, it's genuinely risky. There's a lot of money to be made. Don't get it wrong. Like, if you were to ignore this opportunity that we have right now with so many of these coins gaining so much traction, it just wouldn't be the best idea. There's no point in ignoring it. But there are risks that need to be addressed, you know? And we saw it. We talked about it last week. And then this week, you see these two events where it's like, people call them rug pulls. And I guess you can kind of call it a rug pull. I feel like rug pull is kind of more considered like to be associated with scams. You know what I mean? But these things happen, and it's scary. It's scary.
Yeah.
Well, there's a big difference between, like, there's differences between these rug pulls and things that turn out, you know, it's like, but yeah, with the Elon thing, it's like, this is the problem. People are buying Bitcoin, but not because they believe in Bitcoin, but because they want to see what Bitcoin did in the last 4 months overnight, right? And that's just not, it's just not going to happen with Bitcoin. Hopefully we keep going up, right? But like, when Elon tweets something like that, I genuinely saw the tweet and went, oh, he's a, you know, like, but whatever. And then, like, why would that? I wouldn't sell something that I believe in because he doesn't like it. I chose to invest in Bitcoin because I believe in it. So, like, what difference does it make? Like, you know, so that, like, just shoot. Yeah, just like, if it's an investment, just choose it. If it's a gamble or a what would you call it? Like, if it's just quick, get in, get out. It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter what the coin does or what anything. You just put your money in, you put your money out, be on your way.
So can we talk about this then for a second? Well, first I want to say, hey, for anyone that's giving supers right now, we'll answer those like probably half an hour from now. We'll just go through on the different channels because we don't want like everyone to do it now. Then we lose them or anything like that. And we don't want to stop every 5 minutes to answer something either right now. But do you guys think for Elon to have done all this, that he has some master plan? Like, people are saying, oh, he has nothing else to do. He just wants to create some chaos, or he just wants to have fun. He likes manipulating the market. I think he generally does want to do good things. I mean, you don't put like a lot of your money on the line and your reputation on the line and spend 10 years of your life just for a joke, like with everything that he's doing. So I think, you know, this could have been created to bring a lot of attention to Bitcoin. It goes up. They make some nice profits, but it goes up, you know, pretty much 30-40% at this point. Then he brings a lot of attention that, hey, maybe it's not the most efficient thing in the world. China's doing it the wrong way. A lot of it is run through renewables, but we need to change this if we really want this to be a global currency or store of value or something. So why don't we bring some clean tech to this, and we'll create some kind of software, or maybe you can run it from your solar panels, bring it to the masses so you can charge your car with our solar systems and you can mine Bitcoin at the same time, and we'll help you with all that. Do you think that's something that they could be doing? Yes.
Yes. No, I definitely, like, it's it's the perfect plan, right? It's great. Like, he obviously does believe in cryptocurrency. So, like, yeah, I think that's exactly what's happening. I don't know if he's intentionally manipulating the market, but I do think that's
that's what I was gonna say. I don't think he would have just blatantly done something like this without a plan, right? Because what we've noticed from Elon is he does something, but there's always some subliminal reasoning that he does it for that we always find out about later. You know what I mean? But I guess I just kind of look at it like, some people are like, he's just gonna do all this to pump Doge, and I'm like, I just don't see him trying to intentionally crash Bitcoin to pump up Doge, because at the end of the day, like, I think, as Bitcoin, like, I think if we do see a transfer away from Bitcoin, that might be better for altcoins. But I think overall, the better Bitcoin does, the better the entire crypto market itself does.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't imagine he would try to just completely just smash Bitcoin as if he did. I'm curious to see where this goes. It does bother me a lot to see, just like Connor said, to see how many people will sell an investment based off of one tweet, right? Now I get it. Maybe if it's I don't want to say the DC, the other name, I guess. But like, he's been pumping that one a lot. Of course, we've seen that a lot. And if someone was to sell because he's like, you know what, I no longer support DC, okay, probably so, because he's been the main reason the thing's going up anyway. But like Bitcoin, like, this thing's been around way before Elon started talking about it. You know what I mean? And that, it bothers me a lot, like a lot.
Yeah.
It shocked me. Yeah, I was so surprised. I was really so surprised about just the outsized level of his influence on the crypto market in general. We've seen it in stocks before in certain capacities, but not even like Sam, I mean, is there any good parallels from stocks that you can kind of like recall where someone had such an outsized influence?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, unless you're talking about individual stocks, right? Where like Elon says, oh, our price is overvalued. Or like, even if Bill Ackman goes and says he's going to short the market, like, people make YouTube videos about it, but it doesn't cause the indexes to fall 10% or anything like that. So I don't know if there's a good parallel between that.
Yeah, this is the first time I remember seeing, like, at least first time I remember seeing literally anyone have this amount of kind of like gravitas when it comes to the crypto market. Like, I can't imagine anyone else having kind of this level of influence over it. And it's wild. It's really insane. Like Tyler was saying, like, I'm so shocked and like kind of like taken aback by the amount of people that pivoted their investment philosophy or investment portfolio based off literally one tweet, which didn't even, I mean, if you
he didn't sell, right? That's the thing. You shouldn't listen to what he's saying, listen to what he's doing. And he's not selling Bitcoin. So why are you selling Bitcoin?
Right. And I get it. I understand, like, so whenever we think about the pressure he was probably receiving, I mean, I guess whenever you think about the idea that Tesla and the whole, in portion, the idea behind Tesla to save the environment, do all this, make the transfer to electric cars, everything like that, then you're running a company that's getting paid by something that people are starting to continuously say it's hurting the environment, but you're using that to pay for electric vehicles that are supposed to save the environment. I get why there can be some tension there, you know what I mean? But if Elon himself, like Connor just said, if he's not selling, it's not like all of Bitcoin's transactions come from Tesla. You know what I mean? And so I just don't understand what's the big deal, really. You know what I mean?
Does anyone have any data on how much transactions even came from it? Because I can't see anyone who's a long-term holder of Bitcoin buying a Tesla, because I never would have done that. Like, great. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, awesome, like, great idea, right? But no way am I going to sell my Bitcoin to buy a Tesla. Like, no way.
Yeah.
It has to be 1%. Like, it couldn't be practically, like, I can't imagine anyone did it.
Especially because they're switching over to Dogecoin, which is pretty inflationary. And so many people have gotten like 1,000% gain on it who wouldn't, like, there's so many people that probably bought it with like 2-3K and now can buy a Tesla and would love to do that. So that if they did that, that would be Oh wait, I think I said the word a couple times.
It's too late now. It's too late now, boys. We're in it for the long run.
If I did it, I would buy a Tesla with Dogecoin.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just it's something that when I kind of look at it, it's something that I think is a little bit detrimental to the crypto world itself. Right, because I think people who don't know what crypto is truly about, I feel like they already look at the crypto market itself as if some big risky thing, which I mean, there's risk associated, but they look at it as like not legit, or there's a lack of credibility with the entire market itself. Then you see one tweet send the thing on a downward spiral, and I think it in some way affirms those negative connotations around the crypto world. I'm like, it's just not, you know what I mean? And so that's one thing that kind of bothers me with it. And I guess the only reason that I can think that people would have gotten so worried about it in general is because I guess they think about it in a sense like, okay, well, if Tesla's not going to accept Bitcoin as a, you know, or something like that as a currency, well, is that going to be a trickle down where we start to see a whole bunch of businesses stop accepting it and this and that, and then is it going to cause Bitcoin's usage to just remain as
try buy a Tesla with gold, like
right.
it is a store of value. Like
right.
I don't like, honestly, I don't see myself ever walking into a shop and spending my Bitcoin on something. I'll spend something else.
Yeah,
there'll be another crypto or whatever it is, SafeMoon, whatever the thing is, ADA, anything, you know what I mean? Whatever the currency that's people are using, but I don't see that being Bitcoin. Unless there's like a layer 2, right, that they're going to use for that sort of transaction. But that's not how I see it, right? I do see Bitcoin as a store of value, right? It's like the proposition of it is, you know, it's digital gold, and you can't move gold across the planet fast, but you can move Bitcoin across the planet fast, right? So, and no one can steal my Bitcoin unless, you know, they know my private stuff. So that's why I see it that way.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm tired. I'm not making much sense of my private stuff.
I agree with Connor like 1,000,000% about that, because we got to think like it's like a lot of people. I think Bitcoin was a good kind of introduction to kind of show, okay, cryptocurrency can be used for this, but it's not what it was made for. You know what I mean? And so like I'm curious to see which one of these new cryptos is going to come around that can truly do it. For me, like looking at it, I think ADA is the best runner-up at the moment. You know what I mean? I feel like it's established, and I feel like it's already started to prove some of the things in which it's trying to prove. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh, SafeMoon is going to be it. Like SafeMoon is the option," and I told people like, "Let's simmer it down a little." You know what I mean? I think
that seems like one of the worst things. One of the worst things to use for transactions. Like you get all the transaction fees, you automatically lose 20% right off the bat, and then you're spending your money. Like SafeMoon is something you hold on to for a long time, and hopefully you don't touch it. Have you guys heard like from those shows? I've never seen in real life, but like people at war like pulled their money together, and then the only person, like the people that still lived, got to keep the money, like the pool of money. I feel like I've heard about that interest. It seems like that, like the last person to leave gets all the money essentially. But yeah, I'm with you with ADA. I bought 2,500 ADA throughout last week, and I bought it all under 180. So I was really happy when it was pumping to 196. But it has low transaction fees too. I was doing that with my video yesterday on the DC. Like Ripple, I think, is the lowest per transaction in terms of energy usage. And then there's DC, which is like 4 times more, I think, than, or no, it's a lot more than Ripple, but it's still really small. And then ADA's next, and then Bitcoin's like 1,400 times more energy usage than ADA. So I think ADA, if you're looking for something that's not going to fluctuate in price, like Dogecoin, because Dogecoin is just getting pumped massively. I don't know. I feel like that would be a good option.
Hey, Doge more?
Yeah, and like with the SafeMoon thing, honestly, like I do think there's potential. Like I think with SafeMoon, we're talking about Operation Phoenix and everything. Hopefully we get news about that Sunday. And I think they're going to figure out a way in order to use SafeMoon as some type of currency and mitigate those fees as much as possible. I think there's going to be something around that we'll get soon. I don't know how they're going to do it, but I think that there will be something along those lines because he kind of hinted at it. But whenever I personally say like, not yet, I kind of said it like this in my last video, basically like we're still laying the foundation with SafeMoon, right? Like, of course, SafeMoon being the currency that's used to buy Teslas and all that, that's a big, pretty house, but you build that big, pretty house on bad foundation and it's going to come crashing down on you. You know what I mean? And so now I'm like, let's let them get the wallet up. Let's get the exchanges up. Let them try to figure out this Binance thing. And then we'll see what the use of it is later down the line. But trying to rush that now is, I don't think that's the right move to make, you know?
If they move into their own mainnet, you know, they leave the Binance Smart Chain and things like that, then things may be able to come one day with a currency. But as it stands, that you can't use SafeMoon as a currency, but you could use it in the sense of like, you know, a company could accept SafeMoon for something. You know, Tesla could turn around and be like, we're accepting SafeMoon, like, but not as an everyday transactional currency as it stands right now. That's not how the tokenomics work. But yeah, they have grand plans. I'm just looking at the Bitcoin chart, and we're doing nicely today. We bounced off that support down at 49K after like dipping quickly to like 47. But yeah, we're doing nicely today. Pretty much exactly what we want. You know, we ate up the dips. And really, you know, I've said this in 3 of my videos this week, but it was only, what's that, 9 days ago. Was it, am I going? No, like 3 weeks ago or something. On April 26th was the last time we were lower than we are now.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. Like, yeah, like the amount of panic that there was in the market yesterday was like wild for something that's not dipping as much. You know, it's not out of character at all for Bitcoin to dip like this.
Ethereum,
and you know
too.
what?
Ethereum's up almost 20% on the one day.
That's a lot.
I bought a little bit more, but not enough. I bought like $500 worth of Ethereum on that dip.
Yeah, nice.
You know, the only worry that I have now. So I remember it's so funny. Like what we talked about last week really went into what happened this week. Is hilarious. But one thing that worries me, right? So last week we kind of talked a bit about I personally said that I felt like if we saw some type of crypto winter, something along those lines happened, where we started to really see the crypto market get hurt. I said, well, I think that times are a little bit different and we wouldn't see as big of an overreaction. And then we saw this. And now that almost makes me worry a little bit more now, because I'm like, okay, well, if we really see Bitcoin, say just somehow just pops to 40,000, is that going to trigger like a really big sell-off now? You know, because at first I was confident. I was like, no, I don't think we'll see a big overreaction. But now I'm a bit curious, like, are there a lot of people who are super duper worried, like, and this thing might move fast? So now I'm curious to see how the end of this year goes. I'm a little, I don't know. I'm on edge.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's an interesting time. Like, for sure, right now we could be entering a parabolic stage of the market, right? Like this blow off top, because we haven't seen it. We haven't seen the same as what we saw at the end of the 2017 market yet. We've been very like up, down on the way up, right? It's still very bullish, you know, or the 21 weekly moving average is still great. We touched it briefly, we're fine. We haven't seen that blow off top. So we could see a massive run very soon. Like it's looking very much like that could happen soon, right? So it's like, yeah, it's hard to base any investments. Like I don't know if you've seen my videos, but I don't really base my investments on like TA, right? I more base it on the sentiment of the market, because I just think that like you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know who like Elon's going to tweet tomorrow and like say something like, you know, because if he says something that isn't, guys, I'm not accepting Bitcoin, but I'm still holding it. If he says something that's worse than that, who knows what could happen? Or keep saying it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, we're very much on the edge, but it could be a parabolic move or it could be the other way at any moment.
Yeah. What do you guys think about the stock market right now then? Do you think we hit the peak fear yesterday and the day before, or no?
I hope, because I'm about tired of watching my portfolio go down. So I've been kind of just sitting back. So like my portfolio runs on technicals very weird. Like, so like it's quite weird. I usually don't do any like quote unquote technical analysis when it comes to my own portfolio, but mine hits trend lines like very clearly and bounces off of them. So I was just watching it like, well, today looks like the end. So I bought a little bit yesterday of just a few stocks in my portfolio, and my mom has a stock portfolio as well that she was like, I don't know what I'm doing, so I just kind of help her out with that. And so like we were kind of buying some over the last week, and it was just like it's just the stock market's weird, because the stock market has been in this little downturn or in a weird state for like 2 months now, and they usually don't last this long for me personally, from what I've noticed. So I'm on the edge about everything right now. It's strange. Steven, what do you think?
Well, I stay out of the stock market a lot at the moment. I'm still holding it, but there hasn't been my stock market portfolio is incredibly speculative, right? It's a lot of SPACs and things, so it's been down every day. So I just feel like, you know what, I'm gonna like my philosophy is still invest in things that you believe in, right? That doesn't change. So me checking my, like, you know, I have Fisker And I genuinely like the whole thesis behind Fisker, right? So I like where they're going. If they can pull it off in 1 or 2 years, then great, it will be worth something, in my opinion. So there's no point in me fretting. I'm literally down, I think, 40% on that position, right? I sold 50% when we had that huge, when we went up to 30, right? So I made like 3x or 2x so I sold half, went back down, and I've been buying it ever since. And it's just like, just gotta let it make its moves, right? Because it could get worse, or hopefully it gets better soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I just invest in what I believe in too, right? Like I love Neo back in the day, and still do. Like I still believe in like the whole mission, still believe in the whole industry, still believe that they only have 7% of the 5% of EVs versus engine automotives in China. So I was like, I'm a huge on them, and I have ARC and genomics and stuff like that. And these are kind of things that like it's almost like I'm putting money into quote unquote charity. Like I believe in these companies' missions anyway. So if they want to put me over the coals by losing all their value, fine, that's fine. I'll just take a loss on my taxes or whatever. But no, it's stuff that I'm gonna just keep forever. Like it's just things that I believe in, and it's nice because it lets me sleep at night too. It's not like swing trades where I'm trying to like get out so I can pay for my mortgage or whatever. It's just like, no, I'm in it. I'm in it to win it. We're in it to stay. And if I just can't imagine anything more competitively entrenched better than some of these companies that I have in my portfolio. Like I don't see any like good competitors coming up. Like what's going to happen to Neo? Like specifically, like the Chinese government hasn't let them fail like 3 different times now. Like as soon as they have like a bad earnings, China's like, oh, let's just slip you $2 billion or something like that. Through like all these like back end entities. So I'm like, okay, I was like, what's gonna happen to that company? Nothing, and like the only thing that was like concerning would be like the US policy towards them and towards Chinese companies specifically. That's the only thing that kind of made me pause a little bit on my like Neo investment and stuff like that. Because that's the only thing that could really, in my opinion, that's the trajectory of where that was going.
Yeah.
And what you said about you said it helps me sleep at night. And I think that's like the most important thing that people don't consider is like when people say like buy stuff that you believe in, it's not because that's just how it is. A lot of people saying like buy stuff that you believe in, buy things that you truly understand the mission behind, is so that when you see stuff like this, right, whenever you see a downturn, your confidence doesn't diminish, right? Like there's some things I have, like Tesla, I'm down like 17% of Tesla. I really don't care. Like I genuinely couldn't care less. And I'm 17%, I'm probably down like $5,000 right now. You know what I mean? But I'm like, it is what it is. Like what happens, happens. And whenever you truly believe in something, it can create this overall sense of security. Like even no matter what happens, I'm not selling. You know what I mean? And there's some principle to that I think could be applied to this market that would change so many people. Is if they stop just buying something just because you see it going up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you buy something just because it's going up, you will sell it just because it's going down. And I say that time and time again. And whenever you get in on something emotionally, you're going to make an emotional decision whenever you get out. Right. And so whenever Steven said right there, like I buy in and I have done my research, I have faith in my research, and I can sleep at night. I love that because I wish that we could continue to just let people know like that is how you see the most successful investors ever find their success, right? Imagine if every single time that there was a big dip, we saw like, let's say Warren Buffett, we just saw him sell everything. You know what I mean? He would be who he is now, and I agree with you there, Steven. That's fantastic.
Especially with all the short reports these days. Like if you're not paying attention and you really don't know your companies, anything that goes up 50% to 100% is like at risk of some short seller coming out and just obliterating the stock, at least short term. So I think that's really important. And I think, Steven, going back to just being able to sleep well at night, I think a lot of that depends too on your cash position and how much you have compared to your income in the market. Like if I'm sitting there and I feel comfortable with my stocks, but I see them going down 40, 50%, and I have $1 million plus and I make $40,000 a year, like I'm probably feeling a very different way than, hey, I have 20% cash, I make a good amount of money, and like maybe my portfolio is as much as my annual income or something like that. Then I'm like, sweet, keep on falling so I can buy 20% more, and then I'm good. I feel like I'm happy when it keeps on falling just because I can keep on buying the dip. But I'm sure I'd feel different if I was like halfway to retirement or something like that, or closer. Right. So I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I completely, like I've seen it in some of the comments from some of the videos about even just feel like people message me and being like, well, I just put in all my rent money, you know, on this, and I just like, I hope it goes up. I hope it goes up. What do you think? And I was like, I think don't do that. Jesus Christ. Like, I think I shouldn't even have to tell you that. But since we are having this conversation, let's just be like completely unequivocally, do not do that. Like, pay your rent. I actually, someone yelled at me, quote unquote, yelled at me on the comments about saying that everyone should pay off their high interest consumer debt before they invest in the market. He's like, I can't believe you told people to sell their investments. I was like, well, how much was your portfolio returning in the last, 24 months? He was like 5%. I was like, well, how much is your credit card? He was like 22%. And I was like, okay, well, like, do you know how to do subtraction and addition? Because if not, help you out there. You're getting raked over the coals with an interest rate, and for people to think that they can, and sorry, it's a little tangent. I was still on that comment, and still, because like I hope that person isn't like speaking to other people and putting out all this. I'm gonna say investment FUD, but like I was like, you need to like really be careful with your opinion, because it's you're not going to beat the credit card companies, right? 9 times out of 10, you're not going to beat all this stuff. And I did do this little rant in one of my videos about like this, like they have lobbying power. They have like all these like structural things in the American financial system that goes toward them. Like that's in their column, right? They've been lobbying forever. They can charge these super high interest rates where just retail investors like us or whatever, it's just never going to be able to recreate those returns, 9 times out of 10, right? Like I'm sure 1%, 10% of people might be able to, and that'll be great, but you can't do that consistently. And I was like, so just pay off all that stuff. And then that way you don't have to rely on SafeMoon to go up in order to pay your credit card bill. Like we don't want that, right? And also that's not good for the currency in general, right? It's not good for what you're investing in general when you have to be panicky and like take it out at some random times, right? Like what everyone that we're investing in, like you want to see it like steadily go up, right? You don't want to see these people get in when they overstretch themselves and have to like get back out real quick. That's not really good for anybody. So rant finished.
Stephen, while we're on the subject of being sensible, I have it written down as a question I wanted to ask you. What's your like maybe top 3 books that you would advise anyone who's watching who's new to the world, like just as like your starter books for like maybe mindset or whatever you think? Top 3.
Fantastic. So thank you for asking. So number 1 is, and this is a one that I don't really hear talk about a lot, and I feel like it's not on like any business list. It's like, it's almost self-published, but I believe it's called like The Wealthy Gardener. And it was just published in the last like 2 years or something like that. It's incredible the way that they talk about it's a metaphor for business, but it's incredible the amount of things that book touches on. That is it's like 10 books in one, and it's so good, and it's very entertaining, and it's beautiful. So that's amazing. And then
what was it?
The Wealthy Gardener.
Sweet.
Yeah, that one's fantastic. And then like people are sleeping on it, but I haven't seen it like talked about anywhere. So I have to really throw that out there. And then just as like a whole if you just want like an interesting kind of business thing, it's a little bit more like lifestyle and like just how to like someone living a really great life is Walter Isaacson's book on Benjamin Franklin. That's next level sick. I read that about once a year. And then let's see, what else do we got that's amazing? Let's see about the Money Mindset, I think. Hold on, let me check my Audible. I think it's Money Mindset, because that is fantastic too. And that is one of the better books that I have read about how to like invest in your allocation. The Psychology of Money, sorry, by Morgan Housel.
Nice.
So good. Okay, and then one more. Sorry, I'm giving you a little bonus. So Annie Duke's, this is one I've been obsessed with this last year. Annie Duke's Thinking in Bets is the coolest framework for decision making I've ever seen put in a book in my entire life. So she is a poker player, and I used to watch The Celebrity Apprentice when I was like a kid. And when probably when Tyler's parents were in my same high school class, but we were the the Celebrity Apprentice, and then Annie Duke was a popular poker player, and she was on there, and she was like, it was her and Joan Rivers like duking it out. Anyway, she wrote a book about decision making, and that's called Thinking in Bets, and it's basically saying that people look at the results of their decision, and then they extrapolate from there if that was the correct decision based off that result. And she said that that's a fundamental bad way to look at results and decision making. She's like, think of it in the metaphor of poker, is that you could have a hand that 7 times out of 10 will win, and just because one time that it didn't win doesn't mean that was the incorrect decision. She's like, that's the right decision. She's like, 7 out of 10, there's still 30% chance that it's not going to be a successful result. She's like, but it was still the right decision. And so it was about calculating your framework and setting up a framework about decision making. And that was a fantastic book. It really like kind of changed the way I even look at life and like how I make decisions in everything else.
So one thing I do want to say, like, this is a question I've got. I actually do want to make a video about it, but I was like, you know what, we're here, and I saw it in the chat just now, so I think it's fantastic. All right, so this is what I'm thinking. So quite often, a lot of us say a lot of things along the lines of do your research, make sure that you understand what you're getting into, this, that, right? Well, I guess we can start with one of us. Maybe we'll start with Sam. Say if you're talking about investing into a crypto, into a stock, what is the one thing you look for, right? Just name one thing that you look for that you're like, if it does not have this, I will not buy it, right? What's that thing for you? And then we'll kind of see, just to kind of give everybody some ideas of things that they can look for themselves to hopefully make some educated purchases. So again, I think there's some fantastic things in the market right now, especially in the crypto space. There's a lot of fantastic projects, but you got to make sure that you're picking ones that are legitimate with the right fundamentals. So Sam, I guess we'll start with you. What's one thing you think?
Okay. I do want to talk about SafeMoon after this because they just posted something and hinted at a Binance and KuCoin listing. But we can talk about that later. I just have my chat blowing up from it. In stocks, I think one thing that's really important is balance sheet. So I'm not saying that I wouldn't invest in a company that doesn't have a strong balance sheet. Like, I don't know if there's any one thing that I'd say, hey, I'm not going to invest in a stock because of this. But if they have a ton of liabilities and they don't have cash, they better have gone up a lot in price so they can raise some cash here soon, because otherwise they're kind of SOL. So I really like a strong balance sheet. Like, even if the company's not growing that quickly, but there's some other reason that I like it, if they have a strong balance sheet, they have years of runway. Like NNDM has 30 years of cash burn, I think I calculated at some point, just based on their current cash. So that's one thing I think is really important.
Sweet. What you got, Steven?
So I heard this. There's this other book I'm reading right now, but it's
the books.
All these. I'm such a nerd. I didn't realize how much of a I was until you just asked that question. I was like, oh, I'm really showing myself here. But this was such a fun quote. The guy, some billionaire investor or whatever, he's like, so basically, I just think, do I think this will eventually go up or down? I was like, that's such a great, fair enough. So
fair enough.
I was like, I've been kind of playing with that in my mind, and I was like, balance sheets or whatever, because people like, I think we overassume rationality in these markets and in investing a lot. Like, I think we assume that people are rational with their investings, and like, I don't think that's necessarily true, right? I'm not like a pure economist that think, supply and demand is going to dictate the market and where the price is. I was like, I think it's more like behavioral economics. It's more like what people perceive and what people wanting to do or whatever. It's almost no way to know. Love that whole simplistic. It's like, do we think it's going to go up or do we think it's going to go down? That's pretty much it.
I totally agree with that. That's exactly how, in the crypto world anyway, that's exactly how I was in 2017 and how my investment philosophy now. It's all about the sentiment, right? It's all about what people are thinking, what people are saying, like how, like when you go on something like Twitter, how are the majority of people talking about a certain investment is such a huge thing. I think now, especially in the last year or so, is such a massive thing in sort of any investment market, right? It's like, Yeah, so I think that's super important. And then just for me, it's like innovation. That's what I like. You know, I'm not big. Obviously balance sheets and everything is important, but for me, it's like innovation, right? That's why I don't mind getting invested in things that are brand new. So I'm like, if you're trying to do something that's slightly different or trying to change the world, that's what I'm all about. So I'm in Tattooed Chef for one of the things that I love. Do you know what I mean? It's like just innovation is the most important thing, right? And that's what I want my portfolio to reflect that.
Yeah, I'm on the same path as like Connor, really, when it comes to mine's kind of like creativity, uniqueness. Like if you address a problem, a new problem, and so that's usually my number one, but my very close tie to number one is the team, the people. Like that's kind of how I've always been, right? And if you look at all my investments, they have a very, very strong team behind what's actually going on. And if you notice, there's not very often that I will put money into something that the team doesn't have a good reputation, right? For the most part. And so like, there's some, for example, like we'll see all these new cryptos come around and we don't know who the team is. I personally don't think that you need to know who the team is behind every single crypto. You know what I mean? I feel like if some of them have their own reason, like with Bitcoin, for example, it has its point, it has its motive, we don't really need it. But whenever we think about new cryptos nowadays, I get so ecstatic on who's behind it because that is where my faith comes from in them. So it's not necessarily me saying that that they're almighty, they're all being, but I invest in people with the thought process, like no matter what happens, they'll figure it out. You know what I mean? So say whenever I invested in a Tesla, yeah, I think Tesla's fantastic, but my investment was really more into Elon Musk. Do I think he says some stuff that he probably just shouldn't say sometimes? Sure. But whenever I think about Tesla, I think about no matter what barriers get put in front of Elon himself, that he'll be able to work his way around it. And some vibes that I'm getting for me, for example, from like SafeMoon, is that when we look at John and we see how John approaches so many of these different problems, and I know he's not the only one doing it. I know he has a team, but whenever we look at the people running it, the way they approach some issues, whenever we get called out for being like a scam or when there's this rug pull talk and how they address it, that is what gives me confidence to say, okay, like no matter what happens to them, they'll figure it out. And if they can figure it out, I'm down to support them. You know, so like I think a team is super important. And in crypto, for specifically right now, with so many rug pulls going on, a team's important for me personally, because I think even if you dox yourself and we know who the team is and everything like that, they can still rug pull. But them going about their everyday lives is going to be a lot harder than if no one knows who they are at all. You know what I mean?
So take me through how do you assess a team? Like give me some metrics there.
So when it comes to a team, I look for a few things. Okay, uniqueness and creativity is like number one. You have to have something innovative. Like the way in which you think about things has to be similar to the way in which I think about things, right? And so I guess that was really a little bit more hard to explain because I try to compare myself to these people. So like I look at these new companies, or I look at these established companies, and I think, okay, when they were presented with this problem, what would I have done and what did they do? And if they operated in a method that's pretty similarly to the way I did, I'm going to invest into them, right? Secondly, I look at your history, right? Not everyone's going to have a history doing this. This might be their first business, but they could have a fantastic idea. But what really helps me is being able to go look back and think about how you've handled things in the past and who you may have met or connections you may have made on the way, right? Because people don't realize in the business world, connections are very important. And so a person who's established a lot of credibility, they've established that they're a legitimate, not only person, but a business person in general. Whenever we look at big investors, when we look at people who may want to help out with this new company, the connections which they've made and the credibility in which they have established will help the company itself. And so I look to see, okay, what have they done in the past? How have they handled problems? Who may have they met? Going forward, how can they address future issues? And that's all I always think about, right? Because something could be doing great. Crypto, stock, anything could be doing great, but problems are always going to come around. And if a company can't handle those problems, it's not going to do well. If it can handle the problems, typically it'll go up, right? And so that's what I look for, the two big things: who you know, what you've done in the past, and how you handle problems. That's super important for me.
Yeah, makes sense.
Connor, do you like a team right now? Do you like anyone's team?
Yeah, the main team that stood out to me recently was Bonfire. That's the one that of the coins that I've looked into recently, that's the one that has like the biggest team, the most passionate behind it, right? But that was really as far as I went on there. I do want to interview people more, and then also Elongate is also one of my favorites, right? The team behind that is like, they're like the most passionate. Like Elongate and SafeMoon's team are great, right? I think that that's why I speak about them a lot, because they're the ones that resonate the most with me, right? So yeah, I think I totally agree with Tyler. Like teams are probably, the thing is, like, a lot of people always with that argument about looking for teams, right? A lot of people always bring up Bitcoin because we don't know who started Bitcoin, but it's a different value proposition, right? It's not like SafeMoon or Elongate isn't trying to be Bitcoin. That's not the point here. So it's like they're trying to be a company that's innovating, right? And they're using crypto as the innovation and then building on top of that. Whereas, you know, Bitcoin's completely different. Like, so I think it's a different value proposition. So teams are super important to me. And I totally agree with what you're saying.
Have you guys noticed that it seems like everyone except, I don't want to say everyone except for us, because the people that are probably like us in the comment section probably just aren't commenting, but everyone either hates on us for even talking about SafeMoon and thinks it's a scam, or everyone's like diehard, I invested like way too much money, like relative to my portfolio. I feel like everyone thinks I'm either like I switched over to the dark side on my channel, even though I'm still doing stock market content, or they think I'm finally like ascending into heaven for talking about it.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, no, it's.
Well, I cover it 24/7, so I have no problem with that.
Yeah,
and I think about it like this: and so this is something people don't understand. You know, I actually made a video about it. I didn't upload it yet because I wanted to upload it this weekend. But whenever it comes to YouTube, right, and I think something that people don't consider is we're people, right? We're people at the end of the day, and we have our interests. Okay, and so like Sam, for example, I know Sam, like some people,
I'm a person.
Yeah, right?
We're not Meet Kevin. We're not robots.
So, right?
Yeah, seriously, he is a robot.
Very much so. But with like Sam, for example, I know Sam did a lot of stock content. His interest changed. He noticed that there are capabilities and that there are opportunities within this space in order to maximize the profits that you can make with the money that you have, right? And as YouTubers, yeah, we do this, you know, we talk about these things, but we also enjoy talking about the things that we enjoy. You know what I mean? And so like with my channel, I think people noticed, like with me, for example, like having started talking about SafeMoon and things like that, they realize that that is just where my interest is at the moment, right? Because at the end of the day, invest or not, you're gonna do what you want to do. All of us want to maximize profits, right? That is like at the end of the day, if you're putting money into something, what you want to get from it, unless it's a charity or something like that, is to make money. That is it. And so if you look at maybe something like SafeMoon and you think, oh, it has like multi-level marketing and it's kind of pyramid scheming, and you don't want to put money into it, I understand you, right? There is a little bit of MLM in it in a certain way, which there is in many things in the world. But I look at it in the sense that we're all trying to maximize profits. And so I see the diehards going like super ham. Like I have wars in my comment sections at this point. It'll be like 50 comment threads of people like, I hate it, this, that. And some people are just kind of like, I just want to make money. I don't care what it is. You know what I mean? So kind of answer your question, Sam, like I've seen it a lot, especially right when SafeMoon first came out, like a lot.
Yeah. And I hope that goes away a little bit when Project Phoenix comes out. Like, even if it's not what people want, just showing a use case, because that's the end game, right? And that's why I hear from every large crypto YouTuber that's been really successful that I've heard like bag on SafeMoon, it's softened up a lot now that we're like past where it started to dip like a week or two ago. But it's still that there's no use case or it's too centralized. But hopefully, as some of that goes away, there isn't this like hate for it out there.
I think just quickly on the subject of like SafeMoon, when you mentioned it when it was early on, right? I think that's something that I've really like, you know, there's so many coins coming out right now, right? And people want us to talk about so many different coins. And the reason why we talk about the coins that we're passionate about is because they have, you know, not a long track record. It's been a month or 6 weeks or whatever it is, but they have things that are happening, right? So a coin that came out, because it changes every day, right? The main coin that's spoken about that everybody wants us to talk about changes every single day. And like, it's just there isn't enough time in a day to have a full team, to have a full plan, to be innovating, to make a website that's like legit, you know, all of these things, to have an audit, to have all of these things that make up an investment that I'm even like a risky investment, right? And it's like when SafeMoon first came out, I was like, oh wow, this is a new thing. This is a new idea. That's why it stood out to me, because I was like, wow, in a world of you know, altcoins are like our ADAs and our, you know, those sort of coins, right? the Cardanos and things, those were the risky ones. Bitcoin and Ethereum,
Yeah.
they're the safe ones. And these are the risky ones. And then hype coins or meme coins, you know, these other coins, you know, we always had the doggy coin, but it's like, that's like a different aspect, right? But then when SafeMoon came, it created something new. They created something new. Elongate took the idea of SafeMoon and built on it and created the charity idea. So it was still something new in my opinion, right? But now with the same thing coming out every day with hundreds, thousands of people backing that coin for doing no difference. You know, it doesn't, you have to like, that's why, you know, it's a hard space to really try and find something that would be, you know, the next 100x at this point. 6 weeks ago, it was easy enough to find something that was innovating, right? In this space that's new. It's a new space. Whereas now, only 6 weeks later, it's not so much a new space anymore. So it's like, you have to do something really different. Like, and yeah, I think that's the hard thing for teams now, to find something that's actually genuinely different, right? Because it's all the same right now.
Yeah.
So no, go ahead. But no, go ahead. Sorry, I say go ahead. I just keep talking. Sorry.
I was curious. So I agree, and I think if you've watched any of my last 2 live streams, I have been like, I'll go through some new cryptos that they recommend, and if I don't like it, I'll just say I don't like it. One thing I look for is creativity. Has there been any recently that you all have found? I guess that's why we're talking about it. This is not us endorsing it, of course. We're just simply just saying it's creative. Like anything new that made you kind of think, oh, that's cute, or that's cool, or like the idea behind that is interesting. Because I think the crypto world itself is going to be able to be applicable to every single part of life, right? I think in some way, somehow, someone is going to figure out a way to apply some form of cryptocurrency to every aspect of life. Personally speaking, I've been talking about a company named GMR on my channel a lot. Like a lot, because what they're doing, I don't know if any of you used to be into esports. I know when Steven was a kid, you might not have had TVs yet, but whenever, you know, I was a kid, we were playing a lot of there was a lot of esports tournaments. There was a lot of things like that. And GMR is holding like a $250,000 reward pool esports tournament where it's like a Call of Duty game or whatever. And that's interesting to me because I never would have thought about crypto being applied to esports, right? And so is there anything y'all have found recently that's super cool, super interesting? Because there's a lot going on.
Can I talk about that for a second? Because last week after our live stream, I went and got ice cream. My brother-in-law, he has his own channel and stuff too, and he's big into crypto. He's made way more money than I have in crypto.
Plug it. Go on, plug it.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's called Financial Success. You can look up how to buy SafeMoon on it.
You find that on my channel.
He actually just got monetized yesterday. So that was pretty exciting.
Congrats.
Yeah.
Congratulations. Awesome.
Yeah. But I was showing him, there was like there's some meme post on Twitter, and it was like 2011 or 2012 esports winner prize pools. And it was like $100 for first place, $50 for second, $25 for third, and then like 4 through 10 got like 50 Bitcoin each or something. I was like, oh my gosh. It was like millions of dollars of Bitcoin that all these people got. And I just remembered it because of the esports thing. And I thought that was funny. That
I would want to lose every tournament I was in if I could get 50 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Sorry. I forgot the question. It just reminded me of that.
If y'all have any cryptos you found recently that were creative, unique, innovative, something that kind of hit a different field of life that we haven't really seen yet.
I have one. So there's and this is it was a paid promotion, but I of course looked into it and chatted with the guys and stuff like that. And I liked their team just kind of on like a personal level. So it was these guys out of Spain. It was Art Army, I think. And what they were doing was basically a artist NFT marketplace, but it basically was going after a Spanish speaking market, which that is what I feel like is not represented right now, right? Asian markets, Latin American markets are early adopters to crypto. They were on the crypto train before, I even knew what it was basically. So they were big adopters into the space. And I'm just really shocked and surprised that there's not more kind of geographic sensitivity, if you will. It's kind of not the right word, in some of these new coins that are going up, because I feel like, they're really ignoring a lot of early adopters onto their platform, right? Like you could see a coin come out that's just really optimized for people to use in Singapore or whatever, and like
Yeah.
you just haven't seen it that much. And maybe it's just kind of our channels because our audience is not that necessarily. But I mean, I know I have a lot of my geographies that are represented are just getting more and more outside the U.S. So I'm surprised that there's not more coins in that. But I know our army is doing it in the Spanish speaking
That's cool.
geographies, and I think that's great. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
In the hype coin world, for me, I think the best use of this, if this whole thing is giving to charities, right? I think the ones that are doing the best in this space, right? In the hype coin space, I think that is the best thing we can be doing right now, because it's very hard to create something that's going to be, you know, the next world's currency or something like that. Possible maybe, but at this point that's super hard. So I think one of the most amazing things that's coming out of this, obviously one of the first ones was Elongate, right? But now Save Planet Earth, I don't know if you guys have seen that token. It's one of the largest positions in my hype coin portfolio still now. And yeah, I just think, you know, you spoke about Happy as well, and just these sort of coins, yeah, I just think is
Happy baby.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing. Do you know what I mean? It's like using this current like absolutely crazy market to both, because the thing is like, I think we spoke about this in the last AMA, what, like, you know, being able to make money, like people want to be able to make money, right? And then also to be able to make money and to donate money at the same time is just, that's great. And being part of a project that's doing exactly that is awesome. So I think these coins that have come out recently that are doing like charity orientated are, you know, that's an awesome side to what's happening, right?
Fantastic.
Yeah, I haven't looked into too many hype coins. I think I don't watch those as much as you guys do. I mean, I get a lot of the emails in my inbox with like 50 different new coins that haven't even been created or just were created and stuff. I'm still really excited about the quote unquote boring coins, because I think they still have a lot further to run this year. And I say that kind of jokingly, because now like Ethereum and Bitcoin are boring. ADA is getting like more well known, but I think those still have a lot more to run. So I've been adding more to those just as time has gone on.
Yeah. I mean, go on, Tyler.
I think like what Steven said is something I never thought about until last week when we talked about it. Like just geographical referencing. Like whenever we think about everything that's come around recently, the majority of them, what I've noticed, are focused towards the US, or there's a big Czech Republic, like the Czech Republic, there's like a big population of crypto people that just spam me all the time. And I had no idea what was going on until I was just getting spammed with like a whole different language. So I looked into it, but I've noticed that, but there's really a lack of, you know, like representation from so many different like demographics on the earth. And it's crazy to think about how much of an opportunity there still is there in that sense, you know, because I actually have I have 5 people now who are in my Patreon that live out. 2 of them are from Mexico, and then one's from Venezuela, and then 2 are from Puerto Rico, which is Spanish speaking. And they like because I'm one of the only Spanish speaking YouTubers that speaks both English and Spanish, and so trying to go back and forth. And they say all the time, they're like the majority of people, especially like a lot of my people in Patreon from Mexico, like they're like, no one really talks about it here, like ever. And they're like, it's crazy to see how much of a market there still is. And so I'm excited to see more things like Steven's talking about, like just seeing so many different places and cultures get represented. Now, I will say one that I'm looking at right now is I'm working on a video for Moon Token, and their team is very well diversified. Like they're super culturally diversified. And that was one thing I like to see, like a lot of diversification in many different cultures. So Steven, I agree, like 100%, that's like a huge market, like a huge market.
Yeah.
I've heard of that too.
It's crazy when you think about.
People are absolutely loving Moon. Sorry, Sam. People are loving Moon Pirate today. I don't know if any of you guys have heard of it. Moon Pirate. This is what's popping off.
I looked into them yesterday. So they're cool. Yeah. They're unique. I forgot about them. So I don't know if you know what they do, but basically what they do is it's like I'm not endorsing this. I just did a little research, you know what I'm saying? But basically what they do is their community runs the development of different like alcoholic beverages, basically. So they'll like make their own rum, from labeling to naming it to flavors. And basically the more tokens you hold, the more of a vote you have. And so they have one product that came out recently. It was pretty cool. You know what I mean? Because at first I ignored it because it had Moon in the name, and if it has Moon in the name, I just ignore it. But once they said that, I was like, that's cool. But that's what I mean, right? Think about that. Like, we have a crypto community who's making rum and stuff like that. Like, crypto can be applied anywhere. So that's why I'm like, one day we're gonna see crypto everything, you know. And I'm pumped. I'm pumped.
Yeah. You do sound pumped. I love. He's
I want to see like
go.
I want to see like crypto like in the MMA world. Like, I want somebody to make me a bookshelf based off crypto. You know what I mean? Like, I'm excited.
So
yeah, I mean, yeah, go on.
No, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, in the world of boring cryptos, right? You got VET, which is VeChain, and like supply chain logistics. Like, that's like one of the most obvious use cases for crypto, and like what they're hopefully gonna do is incredible. Like, you know, to be able to track that sort of thing is gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that's gonna be big.
All right, see you later, Tyler. Thanks for stopping by. It's been a great chat.
Well, bye. Anyone that wants to donate to Super Chats to Tyler can just hop on over to my stream and I'll take them all.
Tyler's just absolutely had enough.
He probably burst the blood vessel from getting so excited from talking about new cryptos.
For being so pumped.
We should.
Speaking of which, let's talk about SafeMoon and their new update. Sam,
Yes.
what was it?
Okay, so are you guys on Twitter on your phone, or are you able to
I
get
watched
to
the
Twitter?
video.
Okay.
Is it the video you're
Yeah.
talking about?
Do you think this
I
is
don't-
just like saying, oh, it's on the way, or do you think they're actually in talks and it's going to happen here soon? So for anyone that's not paying attention, they have KuCoin and what's the other one? I'm blanking. Binance.
No, it's not Binance.
Or-
The other one's not Binance. That's not Binance's logo.
Yeah, who is it? I forgot. I just looked it up too. It's someone big though, right?
It looks like was it Gemini?
Not Binance.
Tyler just had to get a quick
Gemini.
workout in. Now he's back.
Oh, Gemini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Gemini. So do you think that they're just like, hey, come on, nudge, let us in, or do you think it's actually happening?
Well, I think that remember what happened with Binance, right? The CEO calling out and saying like, stop shilling me coins.
Yeah.
Like, I think that was directed at SafeMoon. Like, I don't think there's any, in my mind, there's no doubt, because they said they don't think it was directed at them, but there's no doubt in my mind that's directed at SafeMoon, because even the way they were posting, you know, I like the backhanded comments and pictures and marketing that they do. I like that. So, I mean, that leads me to believe that they wouldn't be pushing those buttons again. Do you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
like, I think that could be a legit thing, but I mean, I wouldn't expect them to be doing that again, but hey, who knows?
Yeah, I agree. I think there's no way that was not directed directly towards SafeMoon. Like, there is no possible chance, because at the time, SafeMoon was like on top, right? I mean, I think SafeMoon's still the most popular meme coin right now, except for DC. Kind of. I think
Not a
it's
meme coin.
It's a meme coin right now, but dude, like, there's no way it wasn't directed towards them, right? But I looked at that as a good thing. You know what I mean? Because, you know, they were basically saying, like, if you shill these coins, if you constantly spam these coins to us, blah, 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 we'll blacklist them. They'll never get on our exchange, whatever. And I feel like if they had almost no interest whatsoever to work with SafeMoon at some point, then they wouldn't have said anything. They would have just blacklisted them and gone. But I know there's a whole bunch of conspiracy now that Binance is working with these different companies to work against SafeMoon and all this stuff. So I'm just watching it all unfold.
So that while you're away, Sam was showing us there's been a post on SafeMoon's Twitter showing KuCoin, and what was the other exchange?
Gemini.
Gemini?
Gemini, yeah. We were just discussing whether or not we think they're actually in partnership, or they've actually got the okay for that, or are they just shilling again?
I would hope they're not shilling again.
Yeah, that was my point with Binance, right?
Yeah, I agree. I would say they're probably working with them. They're
I
probably
hope so. That'll be those are awesome listings.
Yeah. And we're seeing that, right? And that's what I like to see. That's what, like, we've seen the gradual increase in the popularity of these exchanges that they're getting listed on. Yeah, they'll get listed on some little random exchange somewhere. But I think those have their own subliminal reasonings whenever it comes to the idea of the freedom of the unbanked, which I'm not going to get into, because I'll start ranting for a while just about how exciting that could be. But like, I think we've seen the gradual step up. Like, they'll be listed on these smaller exchanges and bigger, then bigger, then bigger, then bigger. And I think that's great watching these gradual increases. And so like people want them to be listed on the top exchanges like now. I'm like, we gotta like, it's a process. You know what I mean? So I love, hopefully, if this is the case, like that's a very good step up, you know?
Yeah, so I don't know, for Coinbase, for example, it took Cardano 4 years. So like that's just like it seems like they've stopped talking about Coinbase now, but yeah, that took 4 years. Like it only just happened, right? And I was in on Cardano on day one when it was 400 sets.
Yeah.
And then I sold it. So then I bought it again.
Do you guys want to get to
Yeah.
Do you guys want to get to supers?
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. I didn't know what the timeline was looking like today, since we started somewhat on time this time.
Yeah, I'll probably have to finish up soon. So
yeah, just so everyone knows, Connor is a huge diva and he has a hard out. So Connor has to. He's got a lot going on. He has a hard out. So we're all here. He has all red M&Ms in his dressing room before these, or else he doesn't come on.
We're all actually in the same place.
Sparkling water. Literally, the air has to be at 69 degrees. I've seen it at 70 degrees. He broke a light. It was a mess. So
I mean, like here it's summer in Dubai, and I need the temperature to be cold enough that I can wear a jumper inside. I'm not doing a podcast.
He's made 3 assistants cry. It's a mess dealing with Connor. But we're lucky to have him.
Okay, so yeah, just so everybody who in my chat specifically, I know I got a few super chats, but I can't seem to find them again. If anybody was gonna send any super chats, if you want to ask any questions in the normal chat, we'll kind of address the chat for the next little bit, and then we'll get ready to wrap this bad boy up here. So do your thing, and let us know what you want to know.
I had some. Go ahead.
Go on, Sam. You go first.
Okay. I had some people talk about smegmars, which I've never heard about, but I'm pretty sure it was bots, because I had about 30 people all of a sudden write it, and then someone donated and they just said the word. So
wait, on the subject of that, on thinking it's bots, I reckon what's happening is actually, I don't know if they are bots. I think what it is coordinated. I'm not going to call it an attack, because like we appreciate the comments, we like it, right? Yeah. But it seems to be coordinated. Just people come and comment, right? I don't think they are bots.
I agree with you, Connor.
It's a community movement. So what they do, like I've actually been in talks with a lot of newer cryptos, kind of like talking to their admin team just to get an idea of how they, like, a lot of them work. What they do, the majority of them have a Discord. One of the Discord channels is like coordinated raids. They call them raids. And basically what they do is they just go and just spam, and they just do it. And it's annoying. I'm not gonna lie, like it does get annoying, but you got to think it works. It gets everybody's attention, and people start paying attention to it. And I think right now, like getting people's attention right now is what's important, because there's thousands of cryptos. So yeah, no, it's like little raids, but there are bots in comment sections for sure, and they get annoying because you can't delete them. Like I was getting this one, I don't want to say the name actually, but it was like 3 letters and then like 3 numbers, and they were like, go look this up in your browser. And I'm like, whoa, like no. So, like,
no, that's I get that one. That's not a good one.
Yeah.
Now I'm so curious, but I don't want to know. Kind of at the same time.
It's like one of those things that, like, if you type it in your browser, like shuts your phone off.
Oh
yeah,
I've never done that. Never heard of those.
All right, did we answer it? I can't remember.
What's our?
Oh, he was just talking about smegmars. I've been getting spammed with them a lot. I haven't seen them. I haven't checked them out yet though.
I don't know what smegmars means to you guys, but that might mean something different in England.
No, it means, well, it's very close to something that's bad here too.
Okay, yeah. That's why I just ignore it, because I'm like, no. Any coin that has some sort of like name like that, I'm just not doing it.
I get so many reach outs. Yeah, I get so many reach outs. It's like, will you cover, splooge in your face coin? And I was like, absolutely not.
But like sometimes
I'm a serious investor, for God's sakes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes they seem to have like a great idea behind them, right? But they got this name, and I'm like, oh guys, come on, man! Like, just don't do it that.
Yeah.
I literally got a message from one company, and they had a name like that. I'm not gonna say it, but it just ends in pi. And I was like, I messaged him back. I was like, I am not talking about that. I was like, there's no way I can put that on my channel without getting in trouble. I was like, there's no chance. I'm like, how are you gonna walk around and be like, yo, you bought any of that like that recently? Like, no one's gonna say that, you know? Like, I can't do it. I simply cannot do it.
I had one with
both are so right, and like they have like good. Some of them have like a good thing. Like Connor, I completely agree. They have like it's like an interesting thing. Like it's something that I would potentially cover. But I was like, no, your name is so like people would think it's like such a like it would harm my credibility by even uttering your stupid name.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't. Yeah, I've got these chats up, right? So I don't know if you guys are still here, but Brooke Embry, thank you for the donation. Really appreciate it. But what are you guys' opinions on the future of hype coins after the small crash or dip? So I'm not sure if he means. I assume he means yesterday's dip, right? Yeah. So where do you think we are now in the landscape, I guess?
I hope people are more aware now. This is what I hope. Where we are, I'm not sure. I think it's going to take like at least another week before we get an idea. But I think two things happened, right? So I think whenever we saw what happened with Bitcoin, we saw what happened with Shiba and all of those other ones. What I hope is that people become a lot more aware that when we say it doesn't matter how much you love something, it can still burn you. That when we mean it, it's true. And so I hope people start approaching these things a little bit more intelligently, in the sense that even Bitcoin, which in my opinion, again, is considered the most safe crypto right now, can be absolutely just smacked for a little while over something simple. Then why would your brand new crypto that's 36 hours old not be able to do the same thing? You know, these things don't just go up. But one thing I will say is that I did notice that it seems as if we picked out which one of these cryptos not only have a true support base. Like, we saw a lot of them fall, and a lot of people just stopped caring about it, right? But then we saw some fall, and people were like, oh, this is when you get in. Like, this is the time to go. And so I think we established which ones have real support bases that aren't just FOMOing in and out, and then which ones have good enough fundamentals that can keep them afloat even whenever we see something like this. And I go back to SafeMoon, and I hate to always go back to SafeMoon, but we look, SafeMoon's been in consolidation for the last like 2 or 3 days, even through the dip. You know, they had the migration. They kind of freaked some people out. But realistically, if you go look at it right now, SafeMoon just passed its 9-day moving average. The RSI is still mid-channel, which is always a good time to buy, in my non-financial advisor opinion. And so with that, I mean, it didn't even really get affected. And that goes for a lot of different cryptos. And so I think we can kind of pick out which cryptos are not better, but have more of a chance of making it out of this craziness than some of the other ones. So I hope that's where we're at, but you never really know at the end of the day, you know?
No, I totally agree with you. I think especially what we saw yesterday in the boring coins, like ADA was going up, right? When everything was going down, Cardano was going up. So like that was a very good sign for that. And then just on the point of these hype coins, I think and I hope what's going to happen now is people will be, like you said, a little bit more cautious as to the ones they're getting into, right? So they're going to be, you know, it's going to be less of just throwing a lot of money, so too much money into things, right? Because I think that's what people were doing up until now. So hopefully what people will do is, you know, because I think we all do it, right? Everyone, we all still put money into these coins that could go up, right? We're like, oh, this is a cool idea. I'm going to put a little bit, but what I think will happen now, and hopefully what I hope will happen, is people are far more cautious. You know, if they would have just thrown $100 in, now they're going to throw $10 in, because like 10xing $10 is great. But like, and then like you said, Stephen, about the thought process, right? It's like if you're right if you're right just a little bit more times than you're wrong, you still made the right decision, right? So it's like, hopefully people are just a little bit more cautious. They spend less money, so they're risking less, which will mean the coins won't move in exactly the same level, right? So we might not see 100x in a day, but that doesn't mean we won't see 10x's and things like that. So that's what I think will happen at this point, right?
Yeah, agreed. Like 1,000,000% agreed. And we talk about it, and it's just like this, right? Like when we say, if I'm putting money into something that I just think will go up, I'm talking maybe like 40, 50 bucks. If you look at that maybe in comparison to an overall portfolio, I mean, it's less than 1%, right? That's less than 1/10%. That's it. Like, we're putting very small amounts of money in, because I think about it like this: if I put 50 in at 100x, 10x's, anything like that, I still made a good bit of money, but I'm not putting in enough that is going to change my life in a good way or a bad way. You know what I mean? Because in this market, realistically, 8 times out of 10, you're going to get the bad side. You know what I mean? And so that's why when you see people, like if you see a YouTuber say like, yeah, I'll put a little bit of money to see what happens, for someone with $100 to put in 50, that's not just a little bit. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And so I think people just get more aware, right? Like it's just being aware that there's a lot of money to be made, but if you do it in the right way, you can mitigate risk a lot. You know, like you can genuinely limit how much you're going to lose with the upside being big. I honestly think right now the risk versus the reward is in favor of the reward in this market. But if you don't play your risk right, you will lose. Like you genuinely will lose eventually, you know, and it just is, that's how it happens, right?
Don't you guys think too, since there's so much attention on it right now, and since we're in the altcoin season and the crypto bull market and stuff, we saw like the last couple months how badly just inflation fears are for the stock market. And the whole point of inflation fears is that the Fed might have to raise rates, which is making it harder for companies to get cash, and it's bad for high growth companies. Don't you think if money starts to dry up a little bit, like that would be devastating to crypto? Because a lot of people are putting like fun money in. A lot of people aren't in bad situations now. Like a lot of people have more money than they've ever had right now. At least a lot of the people I know, because a lot of people have been getting unemployment like more than they were making at their job. So I feel like once there's like actual fear, a lot of the meme coins, I would assume, would go drastically down, because those are going to be the things that people take money from and then put in something that's Bitcoin, or maybe they just hold it in cash or in the stock market or something like that. Like there's just so many bubbles going on right now. Not like meme bubbles or stock market bubbles or anything, but like there's just so much money flowing right now. And I don't go on.
I was just going to say, I think that it's bad for the market in the short term, but I genuinely, like, my honest, true opinion that bothers people quite often is that the people who get in and are super emotional are not good for the market itself. They're just not good. So I think when something like that happens and those people tend to get out, that's not going to be good, because we'll see a big sell-off. We might see some type of panic. But I think for the overall longevity of crypto itself, for the overall longevity of some of these projects, when we see money maybe dry up, and a lot of these hype investors who had an extra $50 that they would just throw in and hope for the best, you know what I mean? They had an extra 50, and they're like, you know what, this is all I got. I'm going all in, and if it goes wrong, I'm going to blame everyone but myself, right? Those people, as they tend to exit, I think that's the best thing that can happen, and I think it's going to happen. It is going to happen at some point, and that's why we say all the time, just mitigate risk. It's that simple. It is genuinely that simple. And people don't realize it's that simple. You know, if you limit how much risk you're going to go in, you might lose a few, but you just need to be right 51% of the time, which in this market, it's not very hard. You know what I mean? So
that's exactly it. If you do like all of the things that we've been saying, right? All of the things like a sweet team, a good innovative idea, like all of those things, right? Especially in this world, if you're just putting unemotional money in, a little bit of money, right? And you can be right 6 times out of 10. And you're going to make a profit, right? So it's like, hopefully that will continue. That kind of what's the word? Like opportunity will continue for a while. But as Sam said, I totally agree with you. When we see, like, what I was going to say is, like, in SPACs, right? We saw like what seemed to be this perfect thing, right? You can get something for $10 and you're getting like an awesome product, right? And you're getting it for that amount. If you manage to get in early, you're getting this awesome product for so cheap. And we have seen, for the most part, that entire world has collapsed, right? So it's like, in the moment, there was like serious euphoria. Like there was like, we can get these awesome EV companies for next to nothing. So they're going up, we're putting more in on the way up, and then now they're way back, they're way down. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it did feel like, and it honestly felt like it wouldn't end. So like, that's what we're in a similar space now, you know?
Yeah. Yep. As soon as we start thinking that there's no way that we can lose money, or it starts feeling that way, I remember that, like I said that in so many videos and to so many people, like, it's scary because I feel like no matter what, you can't lose money right now. You throw it in any SPAC that announces and it's going up. Like if that starts happening in the meme coin space where you're like, oh, I don't want to say something gross, but some gross coin came on and I look it up and it's up 200%. Then the next one I look up is up 50%. When that starts to happen, I think that's when you get worried.
And honestly, my honest, true opinion is I think we're there. Like, I genuinely think we're at the point that right now we just see these random coins get shilled, people like it, and then it's up like 500% within the span of like 24 hours. And it's happening like with all of them, literally all of them. If you can somehow, don't do this, please don't do this, anyone watching. But if you can somehow just find a reliable source that says when these different cryptos are going public, realistically, if you just put a little bit in, the likelihood right now is it's going to go up it might not stay up for long. The liquidity might not be high enough for you to get out, but it's going to go up at some point, you know? And it worries me. It genuinely worries me because I think a lot of people have gotten used to it. They see all these cryptos. They're like, oh, this crypto, it got Moon, it got Shoebox. Moon Shoebox is coming out tomorrow. Guaranteed. I'm going to put a little bit of money
That sounds like a cool coin.
I was literally, I pulled up Binance and Trust Wallet. I was like, where's on Pancake Swap?
Yeah, it's scary because it's like, it's coming out tomorrow, got Moon in the name. It's going to go up. And likely, it probably will. Right?
So take profits. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, keep playing the game. Like that's what, like I've been saying that, like, you know, I've been being grilled for that from the start when I was saying SafeMoon. And SafeMoon, by all means, I shouldn't have sold so much so early on. Do you know what I mean? Like, yes, cool. But if you apply that same logic to everything, you end up in a position where, in my opinion, you're going to be better off, right? Because that's exactly what happened. I sold SafeMoon early on. I did the same thing with Elongate. I did the same thing with a few things, and I got more money in the long run than I would have if I had have just held SafeMoon. So it's like, and I completely got rid of my risk. Like there is no risk involved in, like, for me at all in the hype coins, because I'm completely, you know, my initials out, like way more than my initials out. So it's not financial advice. I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm just a guy in the room, right?
Yeah. I did that with Lucid Motors. Like I don't know if you guys followed that at all, but I bought in under 13 to CCIV stock. It went all the way up to like 64, and it came out that they were merging, and it started to fall because of the valuation of the merge. And I sold. I sold all my initial investment, even though it went down to like 53. I sold it on the way down, and then I just, like, everything left over is just profits, which was like 70% still. Like I still made a couple 100%. So like, so that's a good way to do it. If you see a massive catalyst and you start seeing it fall afterwards and you're up a lot, you can take some profit right then. Like you can wait for some negative catalyst if you want.
Yeah, just the thing is, you can always, like, there's always going to be a pullback. There's always going to be other opportunities, right? Like I did the same thing with Fisker. Like my Fisker position currently is down 40%, right? But it only is down on my portfolio 40% because I sold my initial investment at the top.
Right.
Like I timed it almost perfectly. Just total luck, right? Because I was like, this is way too overvalued for a company that doesn't even have a car yet, right? But I like the idea. I'm not going to sell the whole thing because I want to be in on this. And now it's down loads, right? It's down. It was at 30. I think I sold it. It's at $10 now. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and that's a company. So
and people, and I hope people don't mistake what we're saying in the sense that we love these. Like there's some of these companies I've genuinely fallen in love with to the point that I will do, like, I don't just do research on them if I'm trying to make a video, right? I do that just for my own, like, personal gain. I want to know about them. I want to get to know who's making them. But like Connor says it perfect, like all the time. It doesn't matter how much I love it. Like it can still drop. It can still go to zero. It still can happen, you know? And so don't take it as us saying, like, we don't believe in these companies. We're just making these videos for views, which I get all the time. I'm like, there's views to be got everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to talk about something I don't like. And so with all of that, like, we have faith in them, but faith isn't going to maximize profits all the time. You know what I mean? Especially when they're this speculative, they're this new. We got to consider the opportunity at hand. We can risk $10. So your risk is 10. Your potential reward could be 1,000 in this market right now. There's really not that much of that big of a ratio of risk versus reward. And so, yeah, we love it. But at the end of the day, like, some of these ones are just get in and get out, you know, and that just is how it is. And I think one day we will see the crypto space resemble that of the stock market eventually in the terms of returns, in a sense that maybe 15% will be normal, you know, for it. And I think that may be the point in which hopefully we would get to one day. So people kind of chill, because some people look at like a 30% gain over the course of a month, be like, this thing's dead. I'm like, dead? If I could get a 30% return, I'd be ecstatic. You know what I mean? So
yeah, on that note, it's something that I do try and say. It's like a small percentage gain in a day, right? So like a 4 or 5% gain in one day,
that's awesome.
Is great. If you can consecutively do that, right? If you can always do that, right? Every day, if you could make 4% every day, like, and your money kept growing in that way, the compounding of making 4% a day, it would be absolutely incredible. But like, people are seeing this as, you know, because they see, you know, X Moon go up 4 billion% in a day, so they're not used to it. Like, like on the dip yesterday when we were scared, I was scared and I bought Bitcoin, right, at 48K. I bought it and I'm at 4.8% since yesterday. And that is I'm over the moon about that. I'm chuffed. That's awesome. Do you know what I mean? That's a great return in one day. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, yeah, that's what I want. I want, like, because I know a lot of the people who watch our videos based around these hype coins are new to the cryptocurrency world. So what I want is, yes, I want to talk about these hype coins because there's definitely a way to make money here, but also just like, you know, it's not lowering expectations, is it? Because it's still a lot of money, but it's just getting used to that's normal, right? And we're going to go through these, like the last one that like me and Sam were talking about was the SPAC era, right? Where everything in the you know, the boring world of investment was a bubble. Everything was going up, and it felt a lot like it does today with hype coins, right? We had, you know, you could buy any SPAC that was an EV company or something, you know, whatever it was, and you're almost guaranteed to at least double your money. So it's like, and we're in a bubble, whatever word you want to use right now. We're in a space in time where, yes, we can make loads of gains, but know that this space of time will run out. And that doesn't mean that everything will go to nothing and there's no way of making money ever again, right? It's just like getting ready and prepared for things to change, and then getting your expectations ready for what's realistic. And then we find the next bubble, which will come. There'll be another one. However long it takes, it will happen again, and there'll be ways to make money again. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's a very important like way to think about what's happening. We're in special times, right? Unprecedented times.
100%. 1,000,000%. I mean, we've all seen it in our own way, right? Like, I think we've all seen it in our own way. So me and Sam, well, Sam's kind of been through like all of them, right, over the last like year. But I mean, even if you think about every single space that there is, we are seeing bubbles in many different places, and that's normal. You know, and so people kind of get scared of the idea of a bubble, like, oh, it's a bubble, it's going to pop soon. Of course, that's just how society works. Steven, I'm sure you've seen it with real estate, right? Whenever real estate prices have climbed just dramatically for like,
I was waiting for a dig there.
And it's just climbing insane, right? And it happens. But does that mean you shouldn't go buy a house? No. What you're going to do, just live on the street? You know what I mean? Bubbles and growth and all of this stuff is normal. And it's very cyclical. Everything in the world is. So it's not something to be scared of, but it's a recognition. Like, I don't like to use the word delusional, but like, don't be delusional. Understand that this is a cycle and the next cycle will come. And as YouTubers, as influencers, as people, our jobs are to give people the information that they're looking for and put people on the new trends. And so when that happens, we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? And so I agree, Connor. Like, I agree 100%. It's cyclical and happens time and time again, and it will happen eventually.
And I think on that note, it's like, don't get attached to hype coins, right? Like, it's all great. We can make loads of money. Don't get attached to SPACs. Moving on, don't get attached to hype coins. We're going to make money while we have it, and then we can find the next thing. Do you know what I mean? It's all about, we can make this money, right? We have so many ways to make money online right now. It's literally incredible, right? And we're in one right now, and there'll be another one. It's just getting ready for that, you know? Anyway, we got to like start wrapping things up for me. I don't know if you guys want to stay on, but I'm getting my time. My time's coming, you know.
His heart out is coming.
Yeah.
No, that's for sure. Do we have do you want to just hit one more question or anything? I don't have one on my end. I've been chatting with my folks, but if there's one more question standing up, you want to hit that?
Tyler, can I just ask you, have you heard of Chad Token?
Yes, I have. I got message from the owner of Chad Token. I don't know if I replied or not. But no, I did. I got messaged by the owner of Chad Token. I know they've been chilling a lot. All of my super chats are really just some different cryptos. Like, I'm getting a lot of Yummy, Saturna.
Anyone getting Moonwolf?
No, I'm not getting Moonwolf. I'm getting Driven Protocol a lot though. Elon Wario, a whole bunch of these different ones. But,
Elon Wario. Probably get demonetized for even just saying Wario and Elon in the same sentence. SNL's like, no, canceled.
Oh, it's just wild, man. These names are wild.
Let's see. So just I'm getting a whole bunch of different suggestions that I always go look at. So like Driven Protocol, Yummy, all of those ones. Driven Protocol's been like around a lot. A dude named Scott Crowley's been talking about it a good bit. So other than that, I don't have too many questions if anybody else has some.
Yeah, no, I've got we spoke about Moon Pirate. So yeah, that is about it, really. That's about it on my end.
Oh,
Awesome.
I have one last one. We'll go rapid fire, but we already kind of talked about this. Ryan asked thoughts on SafeMoon and about the KuCoin and Gemini. So kind of what we were saying before, just that hopefully they're actually in talks and they're not just, throwing it out there that they want to talk to them. Hopefully we'll get news here in the AMA. How sweet would that be? Mic drop moment right at the end.
Yeah, could be.
Yeah.
Could be. That makes sense. 2 days away. Weekends typically tend to go well for SafeMoon. I could see it happening.
Yeah.
For sure. Got any, Steven?
No, but everyone was freaking out saying Gemini in my chats when y'all first mentioned it. So
okay. Sweet. Well, I think for the most part, from my side, that we are all good. I know Connor has to go soon, and we are looking at right around about an hour and 45, I think. Yep, right about an hour and 40, so we can probably get this thing all good and wrapped up for the second ever episode of The Money Morons. Hopefully we didn't sound like more to come every Friday.
Yep.
More to come. Yeah, tune in. Join in.
Hopefully one of these days we won't have any technical issues to begin with. Every time. It'll be a new one every time. That's going to be the annoying part.
Mine's lagging. Should I get like a Wi-Fi booster or something? Why is mine lagging? Is everyone's lagging or is it just me?
No, I think
it could be.
all of them are behind. All of them are delayed. Is that what you're talking about? Or like people are laggy?
Lots of my chat says that people are laggy.
I don't know.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Maybe it's the internet connection.
Might be my
What's your
camera.
internet connection?
Like a Wi-Fi booster.
It's my camera.
Yeah, I've got like super fast connection right now. So
yeah, well, it's because Dubai is a promised land, and all you have is fast internet and champagne coming out of the water fountains over there. And
just the reason why I need to go is because my Lambo's waiting, right? Just go for a drive.
Question for the chat.
Is getting hungry.
Who wants to see a Money Morons podcast in person one day?
Ooh.
I think that would be cool. I need an excuse to go to Dubai. So
I'm 100% going to Dubai. I was talking to my well, no, we'll get into that later.
With your
Dubai,
buddy
for sure.
Well, we'll probably
My friend.
if we manage it, August time, we can hopefully do one in person. Obviously,
in New Jersey, right? Or no, New York. I'm not going to New Jersey.
Hey,
we'll just meet somewhere. Let's just choose somewhere to meet.
There's a FinCon conference this coming year. We were already talking about in another group chat of mine. We should totally go to FinCon this year. I think it's in Texas, maybe. September time. So not too bad in Texas in September. I'm assuming like late September, but that'd be fun.
Hopefully, I'm not all beat. I have a fight the first weekend of September. Imagine I show up to FinCon on crutches with a black eye, broken arm, or something.
We'll just like wheel you around.
You'll be fighting YouTubers by then.
In my chat, there was someone saying that they'd love to see Tyler fight, and I was like, I'm going to put money on that fight, and I want to go see you fight too. So I'm going to get a betting pool going with my subscribers and everything, and we're going to bet on you, Tyler. Can I legally bet on you in this MMA stuff?
Yeah, we can make anything work.
I'll bet against him. You can just bet me.
Hey,
yeah, no, I said that I wanted to fly out. Like 2 of my moderators in my Discord, I want to fly them out to my fight so bad because it should be a championship fight from what we have. Because right now I'm number 3 in the state, and the number 2 in the state is open. So we're gonna try to fight and maybe stream it to the channel or something. I was supposed to stream my last fight, but it didn't happen.
Dude,
it's so
I'm coming to
impressive.
see you. Sorry.
It's so impressive that you can that you're doing that and this. Like, well done. I hate you, but well done. You're smashing it.
Yes, indeed.
Right.
Well,
I'm
guys,
gonna clock off.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
It sounds good to me, everybody.
See you guys. Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
Yes, indeedy. I'm gonna stay on this thing for 1 second.